Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again, as always. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. So your boy Brandon Johnson, I haven't talked about him in a little while. Well, because everything he's doing is just mundane, repetitive, and democratic. Well, you know the saying goes, you need to follow the money if you want to get to the bottom of any situation, especially when it comes to politics in this migrant situation, where now people are demanding to see receipts, and the city of Chicago is not liking what they see. So let's get into this. This is from the New York Post, and it reads, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson refuses to say how much migrant crisis cost city after report reveals $1 million spent on hotels weekly. Again, you wonder why Black Americans get so upset when we hear numbers like this. One, the whole reparations topic, they don't want to talk about it. They want to do studies. They don't want to shell out no money to Black folk, knowing that Black folks are disproportionately have been discriminated against or held down in ways that cost a lot of our people financially. Not saying all of us, but a great number of us. But yeah, well, I would say all of us. All of us have been held back financially in some form, shape, or fashion due to discriminatory processes, like said before, home appraisals. Like in Dallas, you can go to South Dallas, and then you can go to like Highland Park or Plano or a suburb like that. And you can have a house, same size, same number of bedrooms. And the house in the South Side would be appraised for like $100,000, and the house up in the suburbs of Highland Park will be appraised for like $300,000, $400,000, stuff like that. And you know that affects your taxes and how your roads and your schools and all that stuff dealing with your neighborhood, that affects how that gets taken care of. So if you ain't paying many taxes, if you got a whole bunch of people riding a bus, you got a whole bunch of apartments, it's a whole lot of people not paying property taxes. So which means your neighborhood is not being taken care of the way that you know it should be, like every American citizen. So anyway, go to this, like I say, Mayor Johnson, and he refuses to tell you how the money is being spent on a migrant crisis. So again, Democrats, you got all this money for migrants, you got all this money for wars, but you don't have money to, you know what? Forget the reparations, just for a split second. Why are majority of the Black neighborhoods, the Black schools, and things of that nature run down and not taken care of? You got parts of the city, of a lot of these major cities, a lot of their buildings, whether it be homes, whether it be commercial buildings, boarded up, shut down, nothing happening. And it's like that for years until a developer comes in and gets ready to move all the Black people out. Why is that? You don't have money to help the community. You don't have money to create jobs, create careers, keep the Black Americans in those impoverished neighborhoods, keep them up to date on current, like, computer technology, learning how to, read stock markets, get them interested in the news, interested in things that will help them build careers and create financial stability for their families. You got it, because you're giving it to everyone. We can say, hey, Biden is giving money to go overseas for, like I said, these wars. Well, forget that. Brandon Johnson got millions. Just the city. That just let you know the city is getting money from the feds to take care of stuff that's going on in the city. Why are citizens being left out of this money? But let's get into it so we can just get you a little more upset. Chicago, in any other Democratic ran city. You can kind of, if you are ran by Democrats or your Democrat ran city, you can kind of place your city, think of your city while I'm going through this article, because most likely if you got a bunch of migrants, this is happening with your town too. It says Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson has refused to disclose where millions of taxpayer dollars intended to house the city's growing migrant population are going, after the investigation found it was shelling out about almost $1 million each week on just 3 shelters. The state of Illinois set up a web page designed to improve transparency during the migrant crisis, but Chicago city officials have still not disclosed exactly how much it is spending on each of its 27 shelters, according to NBC Chicago. So with 3 shelters, you're spending out $1 million. How much are you shelling out for 27? Let's say 3 divided by 27, or 27 divided by 3, I'm sorry, is 9. 9 times 1, $9 million, $10 million that you spending for 27 shelters. I don't think the taxpayers appreciate that. I think it's time for y'all, your citizens, to go on down to those city council meetings every Monday or every Thursday, whatever day y'all have, and then go down there and voice your frustrations. You need to, and then you really voice it when it's time to go to the polls. When they say, hey, we need to make a tax hike, let's vote on a tax hike, like a 1%. Everybody in unison, 100%, go down there and say, no, this is why you should be registered to vote. You don't have to always vote, but when things important like this, like these local elections, that's what we mean. It's like the local elections are the most important elections. They directly affect you, immediately affect you, your tax dollars. You can go down there and vote on stuff like that to say yay or nay if you want a tax increase or tax decrease, or if you want to get Mayor Johnson up out of there and get somebody in there who you feel is competent. Now, nobody's on the same team, but somebody who says, hey, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I've done. Really, in politics, that's what you have to really should be going by, is what the person has done before they want to become mayor. Whether it's at home, whether it's on the school board, PTA board, at a job they had, and they was a manager, and how they handled it, whatever, a student council, city council, don't matter. Just need to have some kind of history of leadership to where you can say, okay, we're going to try them out. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. Or you'll mess around and have somebody like Tiffany Henry. He says, I think it's a bit more translucent than transparent. Alderman Andre Vasquez said of city officials' disclosure of the funds. And this like an Hispanic guy, so he don't sound too happy. You get some information, but not the full picture, he told a local news station. Or maybe he just pandering, just saying something that won't hurt nobody's feelings. In fact, when NBC Chicago reporters pressed city officials for documents related to the expenses at each shelter, they provided all of the requested information for just 1/3 of the migrant shelters, the outlet said. The city's largest shelter in the Pilsen neighborhood, meanwhile, cost taxpayers $38,000 just for one night, according to the news station. Now, I'm a homeowner, and I had 2 of them in my house, in my life. Pay taxes. You get the statement, or however you want to call it, from the city, from the county, and it tells you, your house valuation, your taxes you pay, and you can go online and look too, but it's you can see where your tax money is going to. If someone came to me and said, or if a piece of paper came out and said, hey, altogether your city is paying $38,000 per night of your tax money to house illegal migrants, people who are not citizens, people who did not go through the proper channels of the process to become citizens, oh, there will be an uproar. I've been down to meetings myself in the city I stay in now because of things that were happening and I didn't approve of, and voiced my opinion, voiced my frustration, and then voiced it the best way known to man right now. Went down there and casted some votes to change some stuff because I ain't got time for it. Whether win or lose, don't know. But as long as I went down there and voiced the way I felt, that's the most important thing. It said that equates to $280,000 each week and more than $2.5 million over 3 months. Man, how many people still stay in New York? Like 10 million? That's a lot of money. Over a similar 3-month period, a shelter in Ogden that houses 1,000 migrants cost taxpayers $1.8 million. The city has also spent more than $200 million on favorite healthcare staffing, a Kansas-based company, and another $45 million on equitable social solutions to identify potential shelter locations. So you what? You paid $200 million on favorite healthcare staffing? What is that? You know what I'm about to do? Real time. I'm finna see what favorite healthcare staffing is. Medical recruiting jobs. Oh, I didn't understand that favorite healthcare temporary employee agency. So you don't pay the temp service to what? Find jobs for migrants. So you don't pay the temp service $200 million to get migrant jobs. And another $45 million on equitable social solutions to identify potential shelter locations. To identify, not to actually, just to identify, not to say, hey, here's the location, let's get it up and running. Just to say, hey, here go a good location. Hey, there go a good location. You don't pay $45 million. I'm gonna tell you where this money going here in just a minute. I'm gonna tell you. But those might not even be the full amounts, as Chicago hires out-of-state private companies to staff the shelters, which do not have to report their earnings, according to NBC Chicago. We asked about the lack of transparency. Johnson just thanked reporters for the question and claimed we are meeting you right where you are. What the hell does that mean? Vasquez said he is now looking into getting more mandated reporting from the government. Meanwhile, in New York, taxpayers were shelling out $387 every day in February to put up a single migrant family. But yet, you got an attorney general out there in New York who more worried about shutting down Donald Trump's hotel than she is about the comings and goings of the tax dollars, which will be addressed in a separate video. That figure was down $5, a whole $5 from a peak in October 2023, when there were about 65,400 migrants in city care. The cumulative average began to steady decline ever since, hitting a whopping $391 in November. We're talking about per day. $390 in December and $388 in January. Let me tell you where the money's going. I kind of addressed this in a former video, but let me say it again. In politics, in business, wherever, in your home, there's a budget. And in that budget, money is allocated to different things. Let's say like your house, right? You got your mortgage or you rent, whatever you're doing. Your gas, electric, your water, trash. Then you keep money to the side for, let's say if you're buying a house or bought a house, keep money to the side for like repairs, okay? Insurance. If you got cars, you keep money for the car payment, the insurance, repairs. And then you keep money that you need set aside. Don't forget you got to eat. And you want money set aside for when you want to, say, go on vacation or have some fun, right? Money is allocated to different things and it's supposed to stay there, not used for nothing. Same thing with the government. I don't know exactly, maybe like schooling, maintenance, police, things of that nature. You have money allocated for, let's say, migrants because you are a sanctuary city. You put it in law about 40 something years ago. You had to have money for it, right? So let's say you have this money and you only get a few hundred migrants come in. I'm just speculating. A few hundred migrants come in per month. Let's say that you got money for that. But let's say you allocate it for maybe a few thousand and it's not being spent. Then all of a sudden your president is like, well, hell, got all these cities with all this money just sitting there. They're asking for money. They can't use it for migrants because it's sanctuary cities. Let's open up the borders. That way they can get, a few hundred more, a few thousand more, give it that money so they can spend that money. Mayors are like, yes, we are sanctuary cities. Migrants, come on, Trump, keeping you from coming over. Because I guarantee if there was no money allocated for migrants at all in these cities, wouldn't be no sanctuary city. You're not gonna bring them in because you got a budget. You're not gonna overspend your budget. You're not gonna do it if you want to stay in office and you want to keep your city afloat. You're just not gonna do it. But like I said, you got this money sitting there, and you know that if migrants come over, the feds are gonna give you more money. It's kind of like child support. Go to child support, put a man on child support, you know that the federal government is going to give you like dollar for dollar for whatever you charge, whatever you put that man or that woman on. It's a racket. So you think you're going to get maybe 1,000 migrants may come in per week. Like I said, you allocated for thousands of migrants per month. So you say you might get 1,000 migrants per week. That's what you're planning because you think about the time they're going to cross over, get processed, and then make their way up. You dictate how many you want to bring in. You get the money. Everything is good because what are you using that money for? Paying people. You got to pay staff. Administration fees. What did this one say? I just looked up. It was like $200 million on favorite healthcare staffing. You're not paying the migrants $200 million. You're paying the staffing company who's going to pay the migrants. And they're using the money you're giving them to hire people, send them to different jobs, paying their administration, like paying their staff to get migrant jobs. So you have this money and you're going to dictate how many migrants are going to come in. You paying your staff. That little money can go and you can say, well, we need this much money to pay for this, that, and the third. And they send it to you and they give it to you. And all is well. You're fattening your pockets. But oh no, you did not count on Greg Abbott saying, shoot, 1,000 a month. I'm going to send you 1,000 a day. Here they come. Since y'all want to open these borders, nobody want to help us because we don't need them. We don't want them. And now there's the influx, these tens and hundreds of thousands of migrants are going to these sanctuary cities. Money ain't coming in fast enough. So now they're panicking. That's what the problem is. And the feds are not giving them the money that they thought they was going to get. And the feds are quiet about it. But trust me, it's all done for a financial reason. It's not done at the kindness of your heart. Like that guy, he was on there and he said, oh, I feel so bad for this family. This little kid was out here. He didn't have a coat on. So I gave him the coat off my back and said, here, little fella, put on my coat. I just feel it's something I had to do because, he had like some houses that were boarded up and nobody's in there. Didn't tell you that he was getting paid by the government to house these people. Didn't tell you that. That's a part of the story that he left out. Because ain't no way in the world he was gonna let them in. The government didn't, guarantee him money. And you got these cities that say, hey, was it Minnesota? And there was another city that asked, was it like Arizona or something? One of these cities, one of the cities in these states were asking citizens to let a migrant come in and live with you for about 3 months. It got to be at least 3 months. And house them and this, that, and the third. Well, in the plan, in the program is, the homeowners, you will get a stipends for allowing these people to stay in your house. It got to be for at least 3 months. But then here's the issue, and this is where you would have to read the fine print, because now y'all see we having these problems with squatters. Well, it's come to the forefront because it's been happening for a long time. But now that migrants are doing it, now it's like, oh man, now we got to do something about it. Now we got to change laws. So, the thing about it, that, and I believe it's in the state of Texas, but I'm not sure if it's all states, but that even if you have someone in your house over a period of time, even family, let's say you got family in your house, kids, cousins, friends, and they stay in your house for, I don't know, a week, a month or something like that, uninterrupted. It's like the squatters laws. And then you ready to put them out, you can't do that. Oh, if they catching mail at your house, you can't put them out. Police come, that's a civil matter. You're going to have to take it up in court. Yeah, so if you got these migrants in your house for 3 months and then you ready to put them out, and what if the city has first of all, I wouldn't bring no stranger like that in my house anyway. I wouldn't bring a person down the street to live in my house, let alone somebody from a different country. So can you imagine what if the city can't find anywhere for them to stay after 3 months, and now you still got to deal with them till the city finds? I'm sure they already, understaffed and can't do their job, the normal day-to-day jobs that they supposed to do. Now they are supposed to help you find what administration they're paying like $1 million a day. Well, Brandon Johnson here, so for these migrants, or maybe they do got staff. I don't know. Money going somewhere that he ain't telling. But like I said, can you imagine if they couldn't find nowhere for these people to stay? And so now you stuck with a whole family for who knows, for an indefinite amount of time. This is why the Democratic Party must go. The way it's ran right now. They're doing things, and it's all about money. I don't care. They can feed you all this stuff, and y'all gonna believe that they care about the people, care about the black and brown people. But when it comes down to it, it's about money. First and foremost, don't get fans or buts about it. It is about money and putting money in their pockets. And like I said, you got money over here that you're not touching, and you want to touch it, but you can't, because if you use it for something that is not allocated for, shout out to Fonnie Willis, you can get in trouble. But once you get what you asked for and you get these migrants, now you got a reason to use that money, and you got a reason to get more. But it's backfiring on your citizens in a way that no one planned. And that's where your problem is. So yeah, you get Biden out of office, get Trump back in, you get anybody back in. You get all these Democrats out of office. It's not going to fix the problem 100% immediately, because the damage is done. It's a major damage. But what it will do is stop the bleeding. And it's sad, but that's where we at right now. We need to stop the bleeding, because this is out of hand. And as soon as we can get this stopped and slowed down, the quicker we can get back to normalcy. But anyway, or get to normalcy, as close to normalcy as possible. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Is it time for Brandon Johnson to go? I think so. And I don't even live in Chicago. Leave your comments below. Share it with the world. Let's dialogue. Let's have a conversation. Support the channel. 4 ways you can support it non-monetarily. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you want to, support the channel monetarily, links in the description box. If you want to get at me about any topics, anything you want to discuss or want me to discuss, hit me up. soulinthesoil@gmail.com. And with that being said, I leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.